Hello guys and welcome to IBD Day 2022. I thought I would do a quick video based on the questions that are currently on the Crohn's and Colitis UK website as conversation starters. So if you know somebody who's got IBD, or if you are looking for ways to have a discussion about IBD, or if you're just interested in finding out some more information, hopefully this video will be helpful to you. Question number 1. What information and support did you receive when you were diagnosed? When I was first diagnosed, it was off the back of a flexi sig, an endoscopic procedure. It was meant to be followed up, but the hospital never really did that. So in my particular case, not a lot of information and not a lot of support other than what I Googled and what I found out for myself, which included the Crohn's and Colitis UK website. 2. How has the public stigma changed since you were diagnosed? Well, I don't really know what it was like before I was diagnosed. I knew 2 people who had had it, and I knew it affected the bowels and that it could have an impact on eating and so on. I didn't really know much more than that, other than that it was a serious disease. I didn't ask too much about it, not because it was Crohn's particularly, not because it was to do with the bowels or anything like that, but just because I knew it was a serious illness, and I assumed that people generally didn't want to talk about that. I think for some people that's probably true, for others they would probably be very happy to have a conversation about it. By the time I was diagnosed with IBD, social media was a much bigger thing than it had been when I'd previously heard of it. So there was a lot of support out there, a lot of videos of people who had gone through things. And so to me it didn't feel like there was a massive stigma in terms of the people that I was going to for my information. But socially, I do know there is a huge problem with it still, based on the experiences I've had talking to particularly employers whose understanding of it really only goes so far. I can only imagine that's because this is not something which is talked about as much. 3. Does your condition impact you in ways that it didn't used to? That's a good question. So the symptoms definitely did change. One thing that's been fairly consistent most recently, my appetite has been okay. I would say I had more mouth ulcers, skin problems. First time round it was rapid weight loss, lack of appetite, and along with the usual symptoms like urgency and diarrhea. The second sort of bout of it was definitely different, mainly in regards to the secondary symptoms, and the fatigue was impossible to get through the second time round. It's actually incapacitated me on more than one occasion. Question 4. How has Crohn's and Colitis UK supported you in living well with Crohn's or colitis? Well, I haven't had any direct communication with them, but that's partly because their website and their materials that they send through their magazine and on their website are so comprehensive. The fact sheets, the PDFs, a lot of which I used when I was explaining things to my employers in the past, extremely helpful, extremely valuable. The urgent can't wait card, also very useful to have, even though I haven't had to use it, and being able to get a radar key from them as well. Again, I've only used it once or twice, but it's been really valuable to have that for peace of mind. And also indirectly, because I had a neighbour who saw a Crohn's and Colitis envelope come through my door, and that prompted him to tell me that he had been diagnosed with colitis. You know, we went and had a bit of a chat about that, which is quite nice for both of us. So it's had those impacts, definitely. Question 5. How can your experience living with Crohn's or colitis be improved in the future? This is in an ideal world, obviously. The NHS is under a lot of strain, but length of time between consultations, the accessibility of consultants and experts between consultations and outside of direct incapacitating flares would be really helpful. Equally, private practice, very expensive to get the required tests done, so that's not really an option for most people. And just having the records joined up, having the records of the IBD team link up with the GP and the hospital, that would be a way to improve it, because then you can move through the process of finding the right medication and the right treatment a lot faster. So that's it. Those are the 5 questions for IBD Day. If you've got any others, then stick them down in the comments. And don't forget to hit like or subscribe, or both preferably, if you liked this video. See you next time.